Good evening. Thank you for attending this session and thanks to DMG for having me today. It's always a pleasure being in Riyadh. I'm Hussein Mahran. I'm an architect and a project management and sustainability professional. I head the PMO projects portfolio at NAG Architects in Dubai. In this session, we're going to discuss the following questions. Are our Arab cities following the proper paradigms? How livable are our Arab cities? What should we do to reserve resources for the upcoming generations? How could intelligent connectivity solutions improve the efficiency of our cities? And finally, how can authorities and people participate in making Arab cities livable? So, where are we now? Are we on the right track? Are our cities following the proper paradigms? Well, I don't think so. I grew up in Alexandria, Egypt, the authentic Alexandria. It's an adorable Mediterranean city. When I was young, I used to walk a lot. Most of my movement around the city was either on foot or by tram. I used to walk to the school, to the grocery store, to the park, to the beach. And for the farther destinations like the stadium or the cinemas, I used to take the tram. Therefore, moving around such a large city for a teenager like me at the time had not only been easy, but also safe and affordable. But as the city grows and expands, it's still adorable, but it becomes much less walkable. I don't think that my son today can move around the city as safely and easily as I did when I was his age. Now, let's take a look at our Arab cities today. Let's take Cairo, for example, or Baghdad, Sharjah, Khartoum, Beirut. We don't seem to be following the proper paradigm. Our cities are getting more congested, less walkable, less livable. One reason for this is the migration from rural areas to the cities, which is a global trend. Somewhere in 2007, and for the first time in the history of humanity, the world's urban population equalized the rural population, and since then it kept steadily increasing, as you can see. Another reason is that we are still following the American post-World War II urban sprawl phenomenon. What you see here is a typical American suburb that looks like the ideal paradigm for expansion to us. But it's not, because the consequences of building a suburb like that are loss of agricultural lands, disturbance of ecosystems and wildlife habitat, alterations in hydrology, increased air and water pollution, etc. It's a long list. So Americans themselves are now opposing that paradigm that they invented in the middle of the 20th century, and many books have criticized that paradigm and advocated the new trend to restrain the urban sprawl. So the new approach in housing projects is heading to dense complexes. One of the most remarkable examples of that is Mountain Dwellings by Bjarke Ingels in Copenhagen. He managed to combine the luxury of suburban backyard with the social benefit of urban density, using this intelligent architecture design section, creating an urban mountain instead of urban sprawl. Another remarkable project that consider livability in a huge city like Toronto, Canada, is the Quayside neighborhood, which is owned by Alphabet, the holding company of Google. They are rebuilding Toronto's eastern waterfront, and they present the project as an extraordinary opportunity to shape the city's future and provide a global model for inclusive urban growth. Here are some renders showing how livable and sustainable this place will be. So, humanly scaled outdoor spaces, smart and sustainable public transit, social activities and exposure to nature, walkability and close proximity to several uses. If you look at the older districts in cities all around the world, you'll easily recognize design for people, not for vehicles. You'll find urban spaces that are respecting human scale, that are allowing for human activities, enabling people to socialize and interact with each other. So let's start with livability. How livable are our urban cities, and what should be done to increase livability? In the livability index by The Economist, these are the main factors of the rating criteria and the percentage of each. And based on that, the world's top 5 cities are, the first is Vienna. And by the way, I was in Vienna last summer, and the one thing I enjoyed the most was not the marvelous architecture or the breathtaking landscape. It was the ability to walk, to spend hours walking safely, and to be able to appreciate the beauty of the city while walking. The next is Melbourne, Sydney, Osaka, Calgary. And these are the world's top 10 cities with the breakdown of rating points. So if we take infrastructure as one of the main elements of livability, quality of road networks and quality of transportation network, we need to set the priorities for road design. Are we designing for people or for vehicles? So the first and main priority should be to pedestrians, then to public transit users, then to cyclists, last and finally to vehicles. This is an excerpt from Abu Dhabi's urban planning guidelines that present the perfect design for roads. Here we start with the city boulevard with commercial frontage. That's about 60 meters wide, and you can find the transit lanes, parking lanes, and the generous pedestrian realm. Then a standard city avenue, a standard city access lane, and a standard city street. Here is the same concept, but for smaller scale towns. Still, the pedestrian realm is generous, as you can see. And here you can see the streets of a residential neighborhood where the pedestrian realm is even larger to provide more safety for residents. And here is an industrial area where vehicles are given more space compared to residential areas. And this is a city transit avenue that accommodates a tram line. You can notice very clearly how the vehicle space has been minimized and more space has been given to pedestrians and to public transit. Now let's review the design criteria of the pedestrian realm. The first item is the proper sizing based on use. Second is accessibility for all, considering people of determination, for example. Third is safe connections between pedestrian zones and for a safe and uninterrupted walking path. Fourth is the clear and informative signage and crossing signals. Fifth is attractiveness, including vegetation and street furniture, etc. Then security, including street lighting and active commercial frontage. Seventh is quality surfaces that reduce the risk of slippage and prevent rainwater runoff. Finally, efficient drainage using gravity and slopes and benefiting from the rainwater for vegetation. Another important concept is the traffic calming techniques that are used to restrain vehicles from speeding inside residential and pedestrian areas. There are many techniques actually, but one of which is simply narrowing the lanes. Another technique is narrowing corner radii to force vehicles to slow down. Then the gateway treatment that alert drivers when they are entering a slower area. Then there's lane shifts by creating an S shape and many roundabouts at intersections, and speed tables that are also beneficial as pedestrian crossings. And finally, the paving materials and colors such as stamped concrete, cobblestone, and concrete pavers. Here's an example of a regular city street that can be found in almost any big city. And here's how it could turn into a livable space where people can walk, cycle, or just hang out without interruption. And here's a real-life example from Denmark. This is how Israel Platz in Copenhagen looked like in the past. And this is how it looks like today. And here's a short video of how people are enjoying it today. And this is what you get when you design for people. Now, just a quick introduction to the new trend named CPTED, or Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design, where the proper urban design helps reduce crime rates. The main elements here are sightlines, lighting, concealed or isolated routes, entrapment areas, isolation, land use mix, activity generators, ownership, maintenance and management, signs and information, and overall design. Well, now let's talk about sustainability. What should we do to reserve adequate resources for the upcoming generations? Sustainability is all about the triple bottom line, or the 3 Ps: people, planet, profit, or social responsibility, environmental stewardship, and economic prosperity. Let's quickly review the Sustainable Cities Index of 2018 that was titled Citizen-Centric Cities, and that was based on the 3 pillars: people, planet, profit. These are the world's top sustainable cities: London, Stockholm, Edinburgh, Singapore, Vienna, Zurich, etc. And here's the breakdown based on each pillar. If we take, for example, the people pillar, these are the main indicators, and Edinburgh tops the ranking. And while in planet pillar, these are the main indicators, and Stockholm is on top. And concerning profit pillar, these are the indicators, and Singapore here is number 1. Well, actually, there's a significant breakthrough towards sustainability in the Arab world. There is, for example, Istidama rating system in Abu Dhabi, there is Sa'afat rating system in Dubai, and recently, actually in October 2019, KSA introduced its first green building rating system named Mustadam. I had the privilege to contribute in developing and testing this code, and I can tell that it's clearly influenced by local climate, cultural context, and environmental characteristics of our region. Now, let's look into 2 case studies from our Arab world's samples of smaller scale sustainable cities. The first is Sustainable City in Dubai.
In Dubai, they've created an entirely new district of the city, designed to have 0 impact on the environment. It's called Sustainable City. The 500 homes here are powered by solar energy, yet orientated to avoid direct sunlight inside. Water is recycled on site. Cars are restricted, and the community even grows its own vegetables.
And the second example is Masdar City in Abu Dhabi.
The city is built using traditional Arabic architecture, combined with modern technology and design. Narrow walkways capture the wind and provide shade, making the perceived temperature 10 degrees cooler in Masdar City than elsewhere in Abu Dhabi, encouraging a healthy and comfortable lifestyle, where everything is within walking distance. The buildings are powered by clean energy, constructed using green building materials and designed to reduce energy and water consumption by 40%. But this is just the beginning. Masdar City will grow one neighborhood at a time, adding new businesses, schools, restaurants, apartments, and so much more. Eventually, over 90,000 people will live and work in the city. Throughout the expansion, residential, cultural and commercial areas will be interwoven with parks and a wide variety of services and amenities. Residents and visitors can leave their cars behind and enjoy the open and pedestrian-friendly neighborhoods. Integrated, clean and smart transportation systems, including a fleet of electric vehicles and driverless cars, keep the city accessible and livable as it grows.
Now about smartness. How could IoT and intelligent connectivity solutions improve the efficiency of our cities? Let's take a quick look on the world's smartest cities as per the IMD Business School in Switzerland. These would be Singapore, Zurich, Oslo, Geneva, Copenhagen. And here is the full ranking of the cities included in the survey. Unfortunately, our Arab cities are not in very good ranks. And this is a sample report on cities showing evaluation criteria. I've selected Riyadh, especially so you can find its score in health and safety, mobility, activities, opportunities, and governance. And here is two very important surveys about Riyadh as well. The first is about the highest priority indicators for people in the city. So for the people in Riyadh, the highest priority was road congestion, affordable housing, air pollution, public transport, green spaces, etc. And the second survey is about the attitude of people towards the requirements of a smart city. For example, are you willing to concede your personal data in order to improve traffic congestion? Also, are you comfortable with face recognition technologies to lower crime? And here are some success stories in cities that have adopted smart technologies. For example, Copenhagen achieved a significant energy savings of 76% by modernizing street lighting to intelligent LEDs. Chicago saved more $100 million by reducing energy use, and it's expecting a completely smart street lighting system to be operational soon. Then Glasgow is creating an integrated smart city management platform to reduce energy consumption and to increase road safety and health benefits. What is Internet of Things? The term IoT, or Internet of Things, encompasses objects that talk to each other while connected to the Internet. By combining these connected devices with automated systems, it's possible to gather information, analyze it, and create an action. And this opens endless doors for city authorities to monitor and manage, for example, energy, water, climate change, smart lighting, communication with citizens, security cameras, smoke detectors, face recognition, etc. It's endless. And here are some benefits that can be achieved by applying IoT and smart technologies in a city. Like, for example, you improve resilience and reach sustainability goals. You ease congestion and enhance road safety. You boost city and neighborhood safety, and you connect and inform the public. This is a short demo of a smart street lighting management platform that's based on the concept of IoT.
Solution includes 4 main components. 1. Smart streetlight controllers from one of our many partners constantly monitor and control each light point. 2. These devices connect through a robust IP-based wireless mesh network that enables real-time communications anywhere in the city. 3. Management software provides the tools to monitor, analyze and control all of these assets. 4. Open APIs simplify integration with third-party applications. The end-to-end solution is protected with proven industry-leading security technologies. And the benefits don't stop at lighting. Intelligent streetlights create a robust and reliable city-wide network that can connect other smart city devices. Proven platform is simple to set up and use and offers the most complete feature set in the industry.
Now, what should we do? What should be done? How can authorities, communities, and individuals participate in making Arab cities sustainable and livable? Let's take a look on a case study of a project that we at NAG Architects are currently busy with. It's about humanizing a small city in somewhere in the Arab region. The city's name remains confidential at the moment as the project is still in the making. But it acts as a sample of lots of Arab cities. Huge amounts of asphalt. There is no option to get around but by car. No consideration to people whatsoever. It's a city completely designed for vehicles. So for example, let's take this intersection in the city's main road and notice the very light traffic. Bearing in mind that the photo was not taken on a holiday or a weekend, for example. Here's how it looks from above. It's just buildings surrounded by asphalt. Human beings are completely out of the scene. And this is what we proposed: a decent, wide and safe pedestrian rail, proper crossings for people, consideration for pedestrians, cyclists and people with determination, and a greenery buffer between the road and the walkway. This is a small intersection in the same road, same issue again. We thought that small roundabout would be a good solution considering the low traffic rate. And this is what the curbside currently look like. There's barely any space for people to walk, although it's a commercial street. And this is what we're proposing. And the benefits here are not only environmental and social, by the way, but also economical. Now let's watch a short animation of our proposal. So as a conclusion, there are three axes of responsibility here. First is authorities that should formalize regulations that support sustainability, should introduce incentives for businesses and households that adapt with sustainability goals, should revise the urban planning guidelines for more livable streets, and should develop smarter and more reliable infrastructure. Then there is communities that should promote diversity and equality, introduce non-profit initiatives in line with the main goals, educate the public about the need and benefit of sustainability values, and support social activities in the city. Finally, there is you and me, the individuals. We should try to use the public transit more often. We should follow a healthy lifestyle. We should be socially active in the community, and we should be very wise and savvy in consuming energy and resources. And by achieving all this from authorities, communities, and individuals, we can finally get a sustainable and smart Arab city. Here are the references. Thank you for your attention, and here is my contact information for any further discussion. Thank you. Goodbye.